Hello everyone, welcome.
Welcome. Welcome everyone. Karibu. Bem-vindos. Good to see you, Lena. How you doing? Gustavo. How's your Zealand? So while we are waiting for others to join us, just want to welcome everyone. And if you have, I'm gonna put it questions, 2 questions in chat. Feel free to answer. So just where you're joining from, and why do you want to cultivate equity and well-being in network? So what brings you here? Start. So we start with answers. It's Nina from London, joining to ensure we can do this work in a safe way. Thank you, Lina, for breaking the ice. I myself had to think about it. And so going back to Nina's answer, to ensure we can do this work in a safe way, to not harm and look after ourselves. I think my thought was on the lines of that. Hi, Brenda.
Hello.
Hello. Then we have Marina from Macedonia. Take a look of the chat. And now before we present ourselves, I just want to pass to you. My name is Thiago. I will do a visual self-description of myself later in a few moments. But now I want to pass to my friends and Stuart and Nat. Take us on, Nat.
Thank you, Thiago. Hi, everyone. My name is Ana Luisa. I'm based in Brazil. And thank you, Thiago. We're going to do the self-visual description. I cannot hear you.
Natalia, you can go to the other slide after the presentation. Yeah, the accessibility.
Before our self-visualization, we are going to talk about the accessibility and interaction norms. Any assistant you need, you can talk to me, to Thiago and Natalia in the chat. You can participate in the way that's most comfortable for you. Please be respectful with others. And you can also add pronouns in front of your name if you feel comfortable. We have visual support available, slides, live caption, or shared notes taking doc. And here today we're going to use English as the main language for the call, but don't feel intimidated to speak in your own language, and take or ask for support to translate if it's necessary. We can go to the next slide, please, Natalia. Yeah, we already did our check-in, and now we can go to the next. I'm going to talk a little bit about privacy. We are recording this session, and you can feel free to turn off your camera and also remove your name. So here we put the way you can rename, and you can turn off your camera. The conversations will not be recorded when we go to the breakout rooms, and also no personal information will be collected. Now we are going to do our self-visual description. We can go to the next slide. I'm a white woman with curly hair. I'm wearing a black t-shirt and a blue coat.
Maybe I can go next. My name is Thiago. I'm a black man with short hair, wearing African Atari orange color, and with a white background behind me. Over to you, Natalia.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Natalia. We'll be facilitating today with Tiago and Annalisa together. And I'm a woman with light skin and dark blonde or light brown hair. And I have such a background of like a little cottage. I'm at my country house, and there are some paintings in the background as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Thiago. Now we are going to do a grounding. So feel free to turn off your camera, to close your eyes, and sit in a way that you are feeling comfortable. And let's begin with a pause. Feel the contact of your body with the floor or with the chair. And take a deep breath. And slowly exhale. And once more, inhale, presence. Feel the air entering in your body. And exhale. And notice how you are arriving right now. What you are feeling. How is your body? and no need to judge, just observe. And here is a space of listening and care. Listen to what you have around you. Pay attention outside and also inside of your body. And you are welcome here, exactly as you are. Take one more deep breath. And if you would like to make a small gesture with your body to mark your arrival here today, feel free. And when you are ready, slowly begin to open your eyes. And now, before I pass to Thiago, we're going to the agenda and goals for today. So here, it's a space also with the Equity and Wellbeing Steward program. Thiago will explain in the next slide a little bit about the program that we participated. We're going to see challenges to embed equity and well-being in networks, systemic oppression systems. We also will share some practical tools. In breakout rooms, we're going to explore questions about our challenge. And we will also pass for next steps and closing. I hope you can enjoy here today. We cannot hear you, Thiago.
Thank you. Thank you for the gravity. It's also, I enjoyed as well. I hope others. Feel free to add any, to engage the way you feel most comfortable for you. You can drop questions in chats. You have after my email or the email of the stewards. You can send emails to us as well if you have any questions, and we'll try to answer. So welcome once more. We are here. I am here because of this program called the Equity and Wellbeing Stewards. It's a community from more than 50 people that join us in November. These are the faces. We can see some people. There are some people that are not with us here physically today, and others that, live transitions, movements, and they couldn't stay with us all this time, but we still remember them. Then they, so it's an initiative from FITO that show the value of these spaces in the last Networks Festival. So there was a lot of engagement, a lot of good sharing coming out of the spaces of equity and well-being sessions as well. And the people that are here and in this, also what you can see in the slides, are volunteers. So I'm deeply thankful and I appreciate very much everyone for being together and creating this community. This is where you the practice that we're going to share with you are coming from. We had our work or intention was related to create spaces where we can transmit some of the practices, but also for us to cultivate healing and transformation and justice, and support each other. You know, it's a very, we're going to talk about in the coming minutes how that it is important to fostering yourself space of well-being and equity. And today we are sharing these key learnings, some of the practices that we have, and also celebrating, because this is like this today. It's the end of the cycle, and the beginning of a new one. So yeah, so we are well accompanied with people, and we are here also to support you. Natalia, you want to say something on Louisa before I go to the other slide?
Yes, thanks a lot, Tiago, and welcome everyone. I'm, as you see, one of the well-being stewards, equity and well-being stewards that FITO has gathered for this. For the past half year, we've been having this program, and I think it is one of the tools to actually bring the equity and well-being from theory to practice, to have such long-term engagements in kind of laboratory format. So we've actually been really in quite often meeting each other in tight contact with these people that you see on the slide. And I think from my perspective, I have begun absorbing the knowledge of fellow stewards very well into the program. So I really appreciate being part of this. And for us, it is a celebration session for people joining from the festival. It is just one of the network's festival sessions. So here we kind of merge, we kind of, as the stewards gathered around this fire, as you see on the picture, we kind of pass on our experience, what we have learned, to everyone else here. And we hope we can continue on this journey together. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia. I think it's just, I'm seeing Gustavo in one of the questions, Gustavo. Thank you, Gustavo, also for supporting this. But one of the questions that was posed is like, how this came about, you know? So I joined the group because FITO also so again, you know, the importance of holding these spaces and creating these spaces. And that was through, and also offering this to FITO members, but also to the network. So my understanding is how this can be not replicated with the emergence that needs to happen, but there is, you know, there's no a formula, but having the space was created also to share within the wide network, so it creates value to others. So I think that's a way that I want to pitch, and the way that can be pitched to others, how you could create spaces like that as well. You know, it brings benefits to the internal team, but also to all the entire network. Should we go to the next slide? So before we jump into practices that we're going to share today, I thought about it would be good to just name a few things that often we don't look into the spaces so much. I'm talking about my own experience, but I have seen that some across. It's part of a culture of urgency, and that we don't go very deep and wide. And jump into task oriented. So this is not me talking. This is like Adriana Brown basically encourage us to go deep, to not stay in the paradigm that is based, to move to a paradigm that is based on relationship, not jump immediately into solutions, because the transformation happens in the relationship as well. So how do we react to our ecosystem? So I imagine that some people are coming here also to learn and learn and trying to implement things, which is important, but to understand our ecosystem and the network as well, the people that are working, looking to ourselves, it's very important. Can you go to the next one, Valerie? So that's why I brought it here, just to mention there are many others. I can think about many others in my ancestry and many other teachers as well. This is Donella Meadows talks about the change happens. It starts in how we think, not just what we do. So it talks about lasting transformations with words, beliefs, not just behavior. So if you look into the graphic, they basically see a system there in a circle, and there's all the pressures that can move the system. And today we are, if you talk about only practices, as in a simple way, it will be on the, I think, I cannot see because of my captions here, but I think it's only on the, you see there is a mark there in the information. So that's the, and all of that is needed to make changes. There's many ways of interpretation, but I think this is a way to look into systems. As for example, the indigenous knowledge as well, bring us way deeper on going on understand the systems and change in the systems as well. So here I think it's important to just point at the systems of oppression that challenge us to do much of this work, equity and well-being in the spaces where we are and in networks as well. There are more, but I just brought it. I think it's important. Often I came more into understanding that even the spaces of equity and well-being, there were a lot of them were promoted by people with disabilities. They are often not seen and cared enough, even in spaces of equity. So there are common threads of dehumanization, domination, exploitation, and in or leadership as well. If you talk about a company or talk about the groups, but also communities and networks as well. I think it's important to look into. And here, just a point to make about how this is not necessarily an individual problem, but it's also, it's within the systemic, which whatever change you want to foster, you want to facilitate, the ecosystem, there's the systems that we are interacted all the time that can affect us on our idea of implementation or relation. So where systems or biases are holding people back, these are questions for us to think. And the other one is, what is getting in the way of individual collective action? This is what a bit of exercise this graph talks about. I think we can move to another one. I just want to mention, we're going to share the slides of the session. So just feel free also to put questions in the chat. And here I just want to go through some of the challenges that help us to look into the practice that we could share. And some of them are very, talks a lot with community weavers and equity practitioners that often carry this heavy weight and invisible loads of mediating conflicts, supporting trauma, navigating systemic barriers. Without, we know, most of us, without enough resources, enough care and recognition as well. So if you look at you have unpaid emotional labor that leads to burnout and resentment. It can lead. You have this hustle culture, urgency culture, obsession that rewards urgency over sustainable impact, and affects also, I think, the sustainability of whatever we are trying to bring. Project-based equity work, progress disappears when funding dries out. I think this is the case. Many of our colleagues or even ourselves with these attacks to our spaces of equity and well-being, to professionals and to the work itself globally at this moment. And isolation. You can go to the next one. So they are all interconnected. We are showing here in kind of a dual way, but sometimes the one leads to another and one pushes to other. So there's a really big talk on the performative versus the real change. But if you remember what we shared, it is the change in terms of equity and well-being. It is also individual, but it also systemic process. And often we get into, you see, the performative change, waste trust and time without shifting resources. So equity or efforts often stall at surface levels, basically. Diversity panels without power sharing. I think we all know a few examples of that. We also have the missing daily tools, that's why we are talking about the tools. But we believe that it's not just the tools, it's just a much more deeper understanding and support that we need. Yes. I think I have mentioned about the unpaid and the unvalued spaces. I think we can go to other space. Other slide, Natalia. And I can leave it to you now, Natalia. It's over to you.
Yes, thank you, Tiago. Thanks a lot for presenting. So thanks for those of you guys who are writing in the chat as well. We are seeing that. So Catherine has written about hustle culture. Yeah, and well, now we would like you all to participate a little bit more intensely in the investigation, let's say, of the challenges. So as Tiago has described, we have various things that burden us or oppress us or challenge us on our path towards more equity and well-being. And it can be showing up in your own work in a very diverse way. But we now invite you to collectively put together a cloud of words and language to define those challenges. Very simple. So I'm going to ask you, before we start this vote, there is this link for the voting. I will also send it to the chat. But let's just take like a moment of grounding, really a few seconds. If you can, guys, you can close your eyes or just remain with your eyes open, but try to really take a very deep breath and concentrate and let a few main challenges that you encounter most often, let them crystallize in your head, like really one word, two words that are the biggest blocks on your path, on your community's path towards more equity and more well-being? What is stopping you? What are those roadblocks that you encounter? How are their names? And with this knowledge, let us please, you can connect with your phone reading this QR code. Yes, thanks Tiago for sharing, or you can follow the link that Tiago has posted. And Tiago and Ana Luisa, you guys can also vote. Let's all keep let's all input some words into this. Yeah, and I'm going to give you half a minute if so that we know that you are accessing it, guys, and other beings. Can you please put plus signs in our chat also that you are accessing, that it is good that you can. Yes, Gemma is accessing. Yeah, Eder as well. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing for a second, or maybe not. Let me try to do it in parallel if I can. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to probably. Okay, yeah, here we have it. Here we have it. You see, guys, those are your submissions of the words. So yeah, just here we have it. So this is the word cloud. As you see, it is reshare the password. We need the password. Okay, wait a second. Here it is. The password. Sharing it in the chat.
Can you also see the result as well?
Sorry? The results. Yeah, I'm just going to switch back to the results. I was just sharing the password. I have a lot of controlling windows all around, so it's a bit difficult to navigate. I hope you guys can see. I don't know if I can make it any larger. Yeah. Yeah, so we are receiving this collective wisdom. Karen is writing, yes, we can see them on the Menti. Yeah, you can see the results. So yeah, guys, just write please in the chat if anyone needs a couple more minutes. Just write please that you need a minute, or write a minus sign in a sense that you have not been able to contribute yet, because we are going to move on. So just to reflect on that. Yeah, Tonya has been able to contribute. Thank you. So we have a few emerging dominant blocks or challenges or burdens or oppressive systems that prevent us from being in the equity and in the wellness of our existence. Yeah, being in the wellness of life itself. So of course those are very big questions and very big words that we are facing, but what we have been gathering in equity and being stewards among ourselves, this group of people that you saw in the beginning, we decided to ask ourselves the question: how do we overcome those challenges? Like not only in theory, not like putting some frameworks on paper and stuff like that, but like how do we do it in practice? And of course, we came up with some practices, yes, some everyday little things or big things that we can actually do, actions that we can do in our networks, in our communities. And we have gathered a few practices, and we're going to show to you guys a little bit later. Yeah. so that it's like the main content of this session, and we are going to think with you how to overcome these challenges. But before we do that, let's break down into smaller groups and reflect a bit more on the challenges. Yeah, how we can be perpetuating these problems, and also how we can be resolving these problems, and maybe if these problems even make us a bit stronger. So we're going to have discussion on that. If Tiago, could you start the breakdown for the groups so that we can discuss this? So we are going to have a time to reflect on the challenges and on the questions on the screen, and after that we are going to discuss the practices, how to address the challenges, if that's okay with everyone. We are going to also put
Someone has a question now. I need just 1 more minute to set everything. Or someone wants to share some of the what stood out in the results for now.
Yeah, I will send these are reflection questions. I'm sending them to the groups, to the group chat, and I'm also going to demonstrate the challenges for a bit more. So we have fear, burnout, the ego, and white fragility as our champions. So people have repeatedly input these. But we also have someone is writing my own history, lack of awareness, yeah, resistance to change, again, lack of self-awareness, emotions. And we already see how all of these words interline. These are the challenges. But let's ask ourselves a question, like, before we start actually breaking them down, yeah, before we come to the core of this session, how to break it down, how to practically start unpacking these challenges step by step. Let's reflect on the challenges themselves. Let's be in the challenge a little bit and ask ourselves a question: how can we be?
I can open the room now.
Yeah, how can we be a part of this challenge? So that's what the rooms are for. Like, how are we being a part of this challenge? What you see on the screen, and what Tiago also spoke about before. And how can we be stronger by overcoming these challenges? Thanks a lot, Tiago, and let's go to the rooms.
We have 7 minutes. Then later we'll have more minutes to go.
Okay, perfect.
Let me know if you can join.
So
you need assistance to join. Okay, there's someone here that needs to go to 1.
yeah, we also have a couple of AI.
We have many AI.
Yeah.
And there's I put it AIs into a room.
All right, that's well done. They can talk with each other. So I can probably go, for example, to room 5.
Okay, can see you, right?
Okay, see you.
Hi, I was in a room and then I was taken out of the room and put in with a whole bunch of AI note takers, and now I'm with you.
Yeah, there was an AI. So which room? Can I put it in the room?
Oh my goodness, their names. There were 2 people, Brenda, and maybe Sam.
Okay, Brenda and Gustavo. Okay.
Gustavo.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you.
You. Now, see, I cannot. Let me see if I can assign you to the room. Just by doing this. 2 people. Okay. Catherine. Sorry, it's taking more time.
It's totally fine. Honestly, it's fine.
Maybe we can talk here if you don't mind.
Sure. Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
That's totally fine.
So, yeah, how do you think you can unintentionally be replicated in the form of boredom or challenge? I can start from myself, just to give you an example of one I wanted to bring.
Lovely.
With this group of the equity and well-beings, I have been in contact with people, and everyone has been willing and volunteering to offering sessions. But of course, life happens, and some people, everyone, there's different way of reacting, a different way of the brain works, neurodiversion, and I think I wasn't so much aware of dealing sometimes with how to deal with such responses, different responses from a culture that is demanding urgency and time, and and doesn't respect the time of our bodies. So I think I have been replicated some of the overwhelming for certain people, for sure. And to myself.
I love that. Yes, I really resonate with that urgency. I love the hustle culture term. I'm neurodiverse, and some of it's just my brain. My brain is fast, but I'm also born British citizen and steeped in white supremacy and urgency and perfectionism and rigor. And it shows up it's like in my cells. So recently it has been just really trying to not so much kind of slow down necessarily, because my brain just goes fast, but concentrate on one thing instead of 4 things. But yeah, the hustle culture is a huge barrier. And we're steeped in this capitalist world where we have to produce, put food on the table, think about, our kids and our community and money, money, money. It's really hard.
It's very hard. I agree. I just noticed Jean and Emmy is with us. You can also join the conversation. Let me know if you need any help, if you are in a group and drop out. But you can join the conversation. You're answering the questions that's on the chat now. Yeah, we have 1 minute to answer this second question. Yeah, how can we finish this together? How I feel pleased to have this group. We don't know yet how we're going to continue being connected, but I see for me having not an idealistic community. Everyone will show up, but just to have this space for even nurturing myself.
Yeah, like-minded community.
Yeah.
Being connected, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have different communities, different equity communities I'm part of, and that really helps me be accountable to myself. And they call me in when I need calling in. That's helpful.
Yeah. you know, it is a struggle sometimes. You don't want to, yeah, at certain time I feel like some of the communities, I don't want to stick to many communities. I want to stay with a few because I cannot handle many. And then you feel a bit, oh, I'm not being there. It's kind of a guilty as well. Don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah, spreading yourself too thin leads to burnout, right? So quality over quantity.
Mm.
Oh yeah, welcome back everyone. Welcome back. We have even someone in our waiting in the lobby here. I don't know, Tiago, if we want to admit someone else. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it feel, everyone? Maybe we can send like a little emoji. If you guys have access to emojis, don't hesitate. Feel free to send an emoji to express your feelings after these breakout rooms.
That was short. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, let's collect and harvest our emotions. It was short. Yeah, we only got in our room to the first question, but I think it was very, very felt through, and I totally don't regret that.
I think Anna has left already. Anna, that was facilitating me fast. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, I also don't see Anna.
She couldn't make it and to the end. That's appreciated.
Yeah, our third facilitator, Anna, who was starting this session with the grounding practice, she's not going to be with us for the rest of the session. She has some family commitments. Yeah, so she needs to support her well-being, or maybe she doesn't have enough equity to be able to, you know, stay. But yeah.
Okay, nice emojis there.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for sharing, and we can go back to our presentation. I will try to do that. Maybe how do I do that? Yeah, just a second. I need to share my screen. Here we are. Yeah, so as I was saying before we entered the rooms, we have thought about those challenges and we have gathered some practices to try to overcome them. So we have grouped the challenges into like some 6 or 7 categories that Tiago was mentioning. It is overwhelm and urgency culture, like when we have too much. Then we have the burnout and emotional labor, like that we have had too much for too long. Yeah. And then power imbalances, which we all probably recognize. Difficulty sustaining, like maybe it's you are kind of on the right track, but you cannot stick to it. You don't have enough resource. Then there is the challenge of isolation. You're on your own, you're alone. And lack of tools that maybe you don't lack people, but you lack the instruments, or you don't know what to do in this specific situation, like what to do about it, because it's no one has solved this challenge yet. Yeah. And then there is the overarching challenge of actually stepping from some theoretical change to actual practical change. Yeah, not performance oriented change, but the actual change. So those are the areas we have established. But of course, after our brainstorming together and the Mentimeter that we have, the word cloud that we have put together, we are going to have a chance to review this document. But for now, we have collected a few practices. It's like some 10 to 15 practices. It's such a guide. It's a Google document that you guys can explore, and you can find some practices that suit to your needs and to your community. Maybe before we start, I will scroll to the practices, but maybe I can ask you to share, like just again, a plus sign in the chat if you are also facilitating some groups, like every one of you who is facilitating sometimes. Of course, we have our stewards. Yes, Gemma, Brenda. Yeah, I will also put a plus sign. Karen, thank you. So I suppose many of us. And yeah, you can keep putting the plus signs if you are sometimes facilitating. And I'm going to just scroll through the practices here.
I added the link of the practice
Yeah,
Google Docs
thank you,
on the chat.
thank you, Tiago. So as you see, I can even zoom out since we are in this modality. As you see, there are a few practices. I'm going to show you to them in this just overview form, like slides. But in the document that Tiago has shared a link to, there are like descriptions and there are more practices. So those are practices from our well-being stewards who have been with us for the past half a year in Phyto Network. Yeah, and some of them, some of us are here today in the call. I think Luzette is not here, but she has shared the practice with us. Lana as well, our steward, has from the Netherlands, has shared the practice of on self-regulation. Yeah, that can help you against burnout or just maintain yourself. Yeah. Then we have Gustavo. I think Gustavo has been here in the meeting, right, at some point. And Gustavo has shared with us some practices, including this whole methodology of yeah, transforming your mindset and channeling your action.
It's also, sorry, Natalia, it's also, I think, relevant for the power imbalance in communities. You know, it's a whole process. We have put a link there, so you can have a look on how they have like a pocket guide on how to.
Yeah, it's one
you
of
can
the
contact Gustavo as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Tiago. So in the guide, I'm going to get to that, but you see, like we don't put just practice, we put practices and the authors or practitioners of every practice, and everyone has who has their contacts revealed there has agreed to their contacts to be there. So you can totally write to them by the email or WhatsApp, and they're going to be glad probably to talk with you. Yeah, we are all kind of friendly, nice people, and you guys can talk with us about your community needs and even get some advice on the practices. Yamur has shared a link to the whole toolkit. The IDGs, they help, you know, if you, some of you may know the SDGs, the sustainable goals, and the IDGs are like this internal equivalent of sustainable development goals, how to connect those domains. Then we have a practice of gratitude by our Ana Luisa, who you have met in the beginning. Yes, so this is also such a meditation that you can use. You can always use it as a guide even for meditation in the beginning or in the end of your group sessions that you facilitate. There is a practice by myself. It is such a model to shift from the linear planning and mindset to a circular one. It is not connected to any gender issues or any, it is like pretty universal. And all of those tools, again, yeah, you can write to us and get to know our tools. But for now, we would ask you to just
Natalia, I just sorry to interrupt. I just want to mention that just for me, like putting together this, how was it? And I think you know, being in this group and be able to put this together for me, the value is the relations that I had with people and going more that I can, if I'm trying to apply this, I have someone who can help me with this. And I think that's the value as well that I want to add it to. So as a suggestion, if you know another someone who is practicing the same, working in equity or well-being as well, creating such collective repository of practices, but also reflections, questions, I think can really help us supporting ourselves as well.
Yeah.
That's saying over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Tiago. No, I mean, this is a great reflection. And as I said at the beginning, myself being a steward, I didn't know Phyto Network before this program. And in the beginning, it was a bit difficult for me to understand the intentions and the structures of the work in this program. And I, like many of us, are busy, yeah, and I am also guilty of that, of being busy. So I didn't have enough time to really soak the people in and the atmosphere. I just addressed it as kind of task-based space that we gather as facilitators. We have to give a program. Every one of us has to have some session, and we have half a year to be together and to do this. And it is nice, good people, good vibes, but still very action-oriented. But through this collection, this like harvesting of those practices, I could really start to connect with people individually, as Tiago has mentioned. So it is very, very personal. It is not just a library. It is really connected to humans, and you can do this in your own networks, as Tiago has suggested, and you can connect with us as well, and being all in the same topic. We are very glad to receive your reaching out. So if you haven't already, please open this guide. There is a link from Tiago a little bit up in the chat. He has shared a few messages above, and there is this QR code. So if you could just take some 3 minutes, maybe we can even have some music with that, yeah. And just read, scroll, even just browse through the practices, and try to just see what resonates with you, and then we are going to have discussions. So let's give ourselves some 3 to 5 minutes just to scroll through the document. Yeah. Yeah. Just take your time. We have a discussion coming up, but for now you can just browse.
Yeah.
It's beautiful seeing you guys in the document and how we all have those anonymous alligator, anonymous beaver, you know, anonymous coyote. It's all, even looking through the list of the animals that we are represented by is quite heartwarming. So thank you all of the alligators, axolotls, and others for connecting to our little guide of practices. Feel free, and you're very welcome to download that and keep it in your collection as a PDF. Maybe this document will be evolving, so you can jump into this link from time to time. And most of all, just pick a practice that resonates with you the most and really try to connect to the facilitator who has suggested it. I'm sure it will be a very lovely experience. So I think I'm going to pass it over to you, Tiago, for our so that you guide us into the last part of our session.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you put it back to the screen?
Yeah,
the slide. So, we asked you, I hope so, sorry it wasn't clear, to pick one or to read one or more of the practices to see what connects with you instantly. And now we are going to have 12 minutes to answer these two questions in groups, groups of 3 or 2. So the first question is, what stood out for you from this practice or practices? So, and how can you apply them as an emergence practice? So something that is not fixed into a formula like you read. How does it fit with your current situation? If you can think about a group that you can apply that, if you didn't have an image yet, and then trying to connect real needs. Maybe you have to adjust this practice a little bit. Maybe you need someone else to help you to do that. So yes, so I'm gonna open the room. Does anyone have a question about it? What we're going to do? Okay, so enjoy. You have to assign 2 people. Just join. Eyes on world. Again,
Hello.
well.
I haven't got on.
You get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Diego, just 1 second. One question. It's the diversity and inclusion, right?
Yeah, it's equity and well-being. Includes diversity.
Okay.
Can you join the room or?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay, good. Yes. I see green matter. Yeah. Okay. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I just dropped off the call, so I yeah,
Oh,
lost my but now
oh,
I'm
yeah.
back.
Yeah, maybe we'll be able to hear more with your group as well.
Wow.
Uh,
Hi. It was very sudden this time for me, the jump back. But it was a lovely chat. Yeah.
in a way, I hear that you have a lot of chat.
Yeah, Karen was trying to connect back, but I saw like some green matters and I didn't have time to react, and I didn't recognize you, Karen, because you didn't have the same name, so I didn't react to you coming back to the meeting. Sorry. But good to have you with us. Yeah, Tiago, over to you to harvest that.
See, Gustavo, we need more time. Indeed, Gustavo. Well, let's have some time now to hear some of the insights, some of the reflections, what is alive on you. You can answer the questions, you can give an overview of what is speaking to you right now. Thank you, Len. So, would like to go first. You can also write in the chat or write for us later.
Sorry, were you inviting people to say something?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you to Lana. I put it in the chat. She's like, I feel like I've just found the end of the rainbow. Really lovely. So, yeah, thank you. Community alchemist. I love that.
Brenda, I see you thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably hard to have a conclusion, yeah, of this sharing, because it's been so rich.
Indeed.
And I kind of like this vibe of having it like as an open ending, you know, that we don't have like to make a definite conclusion to the meeting. We can all stay in touch somehow, can exchange some contacts. Who is open to being contacted? We can leave some links in the group chat.
Yeah, I see a hand there.
Yeah, I think it's me, it's Catherine. I just want to say, yes, a thank you, echoing so much of what's been said and posted, and also to, yes, to say thank you to Lana, maybe as the one who posted about the Neurodiversity Educational Academy. I'm a psychologist and I work with neurodiverse clients. I'm neurodiverse myself, and I don't always see it in equity circles. And here it is, and it's great. So thank you to anyone involved, Lana, and anyone else who posted that. It's lovely, because of course it should be included, right? It's part of inclusion, but it gets missed sometimes. And I think there's a growing group of us who are neurodiverse and think and operate differently. And it shouldn't be different. It should just be, well, maybe it is, it's different. It's not the bad part, right? Anyway, thank you.
Okay, Catherine.
Can I ask a question about that, please? Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
There seems to be a relatively high proportion of neurodivergent people in the space of, I don't don't want to use words because they'll be wrong, but I heard in a podcast recently that nature evolves with an increasing complexity. So when things become more complex, then humans or any nature will evolve, right? And with the increasing complexity of the world that we're living in right now, and it's there is no way to know the truth here with as per everything in our world, but I'm interested firstly in whether people think that there's a possibility that that could be the reason that we are seeing a higher proportion of neurodivergent people, but also that maybe thinking differently about things is really, really important, and being able to access new solutions or design new ways of being in the world. I mean, as I was just talking with the group we were just my little breakout group, everything that's been created was somebody's idea, right? Everything we have in our reality right now is just somebody's idea, right? That became a thing, except nature. And nature's still doing its best to do everything perfectly, without any, we're ruining it, but nature still looks after everything and does everything as it always has. But with all of our ideas, we miss things. We miss that bit and that bit, and we can't include it because we can't think like that, because we can't think about all the things, but nature doesn't think. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of put it out there and as a thought, a question. I just feel like this thinking and the emergence that happens when we put all of our words and our thoughts together, is really, can be really rich. It is really rich for all of us all the time when we do this together. Any thoughts? Sorry, that was a bit complex.
Thank you.
On neurodiversion too.
I think it's a button itself. Thank you for this gift. Yeah. Brenda, do you want to jump in? Okay. I think I will. Anyone? I mean, I think I would switch things here. It's like we are closing. So Lena, yeah, I will give you the pass on the talking stick. Yeah, I just wanted to invite any of you just want to share as a kind of reflection, but also closing an appreciation to someone else for today. Can be someone in your family, but also be someone here, an insight that you have. So that's the way we can also close the session. Yeah, go.
Chaco, I just want to share that I just sent a PDF in the group chat. So this is one of our resources that we just published around Beyond Burnout and looking at it from a neurodivergent perspective. So happy to share this with anyone that's in this call today. So you can just download it in the chat.
Thanks, Lana. And could you also leave some way of contacting you, like a LinkedIn or something?
Lana is on the file as well, I mean, on the document as well.
Yeah, you are on the document. Yeah, thank you. Perfect. I probably haven't been in your session. Sorry for that. But like, at least I will have a chance now to connect. Thank you.
Well, I want to show appreciation to all of you that took the time and to first to appreciate and to take care of yourself today here. I hope there's also space to feel connection, to nourishing yourselves, and to learn, reflecting on things. And also appreciation to everyone here, the stewards as well. Yeah, I think this is a continuation. It's the beginning and the middle and the beginning, as one of my teachers says, Antonio Bispo dos Santos, a Brazilian from a traditional community, says. For me, it reminds me of speaks to me too. We are a continuation, right? So people, we feel, we do, most of us, I believe, we do this work because we feel within ourselves. And I think this one stop is how we take care of ourselves in a way of doing it, you know, not to arrive. So just want to share these thoughts. Thank you. And you're free to also leave if you need it. So thank you for the present and to stay and speak.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.